Hello, in this recording, we're going to talk about a feature of SuccessFactors called Manage Document Visibility, which can be used to hide the visibility on specific worksheets from participants of the workflow of that worksheet. And you can do it in a mass CSV uploads, which is pretty convenient. So this feature is found here, Manage Document Visibility as a super admin. And like I said, we can take the completed copy or the en route copy of a worksheet and hide it from specific user. So we can do it from the user interface here by entering the user with visibility and the subject of the document, or even do it by document ID and then click on remove visibility. But what we're going to focus on today is how to do it how to do a mass upload to mass hide visibility of documents. For example, I had this request from a customer whose question last a couple of weeks ago. They have been using SuccessFactors compensation for many years, and they had up to 2015 in the completed copies. And so here it's easy to get several copies. The higher you are in the org chart, the easier it is to get a lot of copies for the same cycle, because typically the approval workflow for compensation will be manager and then next level manager. And so if you're sitting on pretty much towards the top, you get a lot of copies that accumulate, because it's by design that if you're part of a workflow as an official approving step, then you will get a copy, and there's no way around that. So as a user themselves, for example, here, Michael Pittman, I could come here and or reorganize my completed folder, create new folder that I call archive, and then route and then move my worksheets to that folder. But that requires that each person does it individually. And here we're trying to find a way that where comp admin or the performance administrator, because it works the same for performance, is able to do it for all the planners in the company all at once. So let's take a look at how to do that. So the first thing we want to do is get a report that is going to give us all the document IDs for 2015 and 2016. So we're gonna do that now by going to reporting, create a new report table, and we're looking for form status. And so we're going to do doc ID, compensation, remove styling, save, and then under people, we're going to do other filters, including active users. And in dataset, that's where we need to select the different data sets. So we want 2015 and 2016, and click OK. And then we want in columns, we want the document ID, and that's all. So click done, save, and now generate, which will give us a preview, and we can download the CSV here from this. So every document that was part of a compensation cycle or performance cycle has a unique ID. And so we're going to get the list of these unique IDs here in this document. Okay, so we have them all here for both 2015 and 2016. So the next thing for us to do is to find out which are the roles that were part of the approval workflow for these two cycles, 2015, 2016. So to do that, we can go to the compensation administration and click on 2015. In this example, we're using the same workflow. So if I go to plan setup and I click on here, route map, this will give me an overview of the workflow. And what we can see here is that it's a composition workflow. So employee means actually manager, because it's a manager-centric module. So for performance, employee would mean the actual employee for who we launch the worksheets, but in composition, we launch a worksheet for a manager, not for an employee. So this means our manager. And in the file that we're going to prepare, this is called E. a standard role in SuccessFactors, the standard way of naming the different roles in the user directory file. And then the next level manager review step manager here, that's going to be EM. So if you had another one in your workflow that's called second level manager review and it's called second level manager, then that would be EMM, for example. But we're not going to do this here because it doesn't apply. And so we're going to use these two roles in our import file to build our file and then to mass remove visibility. But before I move on to finishing the import file, one thing is, however, that if you had carbon copy defined here to specific roles upon completion, unfortunately, these cannot be hidden by mass upload. But it's pretty rare for compensation. It's a little more common for performance. But unfortunately, this is not considered as an official approval step, and so it will not be considered for to hide the visibility of the document. So that being said, let's finish the design of our worksheet, sorry, import CSV. So we got to go now to manage document visibility, and we're going to download the CSV upload here. So by roles, that's what we want to do. So this was our report, and so this is the header, official header for the official import file. So what we want to do now is we want to take these IDs, paste them into the official import, and now we're only going to work with this official import. We can close this one. And so now what we want to do is take each of these roles here, E and EM, and then paste them here. So first I'm going to do E, and now I'm going to paste the document IDs again, and then create EM, and then to the bottom, and then save. And now I have my import file ready, so all I need to do is go back to here, Manage Document Visibility, and select my file. And select it here. This is the one. Always good to check the time. Upload. Here I get success. 194 CSV entries were processed, and we can select them all and hide visibility for all of them. Unfortunately, the job that gets triggered here that tells you it's been uploaded, it's been scheduled, cannot be tracked from the admin UI from any environment admin UI. You have to go to provisioning to monitor jobs in provisioning to see it, which we're not going to do here. But it's really quick. It takes a few seconds for 194, it would take a couple seconds. And one thing you can do is pick one of the compensation worksheets you wanted to use. Well, actually, it might have already been all hidden, so we probably won't see anything here in this example. So if we go back to completed, now we can see Michael Pittman doesn't see anything anymore. So we started with Michael Pittman could see 3 copies of completed worksheets for 2015, 3 for 2016. We worked on this mass import file, and now he doesn't see anymore. And all of the people that were part of the cycle, nobody can see anything anymore. So this is what's nice about this feature. It allows you to quickly hide everything. One of the drawbacks of this feature, I have to say, and I will put it in the introduction of the post, is that it's pretty hard to, on top of the one I already mentioned, which was that you cannot hide all the carbon copies that can be sent from the completed copy to anyone, and you also cannot hide if there were carbon copies hard-coded in the work route map. You cannot hide them by CSV upload. But also the second drawback is if you're going to do that, it's a really convenient feature, but it's also, you have to be sure of what you're doing, because even though the documents they stay in the system, we're just hiding the document from someone's en route or completed folder. It's really hard to undo the hiding part. As you can see, we did a CSV upload. It took a few seconds for us to build everything. But as you can see here too, it's really hard to, you can only restore the document visibility by document ID. So it should not be used, mass used, if there's a risk that we want to put the copy visible again for the managers. For compensation, removing the copy of the completed the copy of the completed worksheets, these completed worksheets for planners, doesn't prevent them from still having access to the executive review. So here he doesn't have Michael Pittman, who's part of these 2015, 2016 cycles, but he can still access the executive review for these. So he can still see the scope that he had, the recommendation he gave, but we just cleaned up his completed folder. And so the same it works exactly the same for performance, but I figured I'd do a little recording on this because there is a Launchpad article that I will link in the SAP blog, but it doesn't really provide examples of how to do the mass upload by role, which is the fastest um, to um, to hide visibility and clean the completed inboxes here. Thank you. I hope this was useful, and thanks for listening. Bye bye.